Okay, good afternoon YouTube viewers and subscribers. Today I have an engine here that's sent to me by a new customer, and this customer, his name is Russ, was actually referred to me by my Slovenian glow brother Lash. So thank you, Lash, for recommending that Russ contact me about his engine, and let's check this thing out. Okay, and the engine is, coincidentally enough, a Saito FA-40 engine, which Russ got a few weeks back. He never ran it. He didn't like the way it sounded when it was turning over, and then the story goes a buddy of his took the valve covers off, and I don't know what was done was unknown, but then the engine had no compression at all anymore after that. So, and that is kind of what we're seeing here. Now, Russ, this sound, that's just the sound of the cam followers dropping in here. That's a normal sound for four-stroke engines. And that was another thing. Russ said this was his first four-stroke engine, so this sound bothered him, but trust me, Russ, this is normal. That's a normal sound for a four-stroke engine. So why it has no compression is yet another story. So we're going to take these rocker covers off here, take a look inside. I have a suspicion if it had compression at one time and then now it doesn't, I have a suspicion of what it could possibly be, but those screws were a little tight. They don't need to be quite that tight. Okay, bring it in here a little bit closer. Obviously I haven't taken the spinner off here yet, but let me take a look here. I'm going to have to get my magnifier on my head. Yep, that's kind of what I thought. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you or not here, but in the course of whoever was looking at this push rod, exhaust push rod, is not actually in the cup anymore. And I'm not really sure if my camera's going to like me going in this far and showing you this, but I'm going to try. Oops. I think you can see there that it's not really engaged in the cup like it's supposed to be. So, oops, wrong way. So let's go back out a little bit. And all what I'm going to do is just push down on this valve and shake that back into place. We still have very light compression, which might indicate that it's got the ring is stuck, but that was what I was thinking initially anyway. It was, oh, that still isn't engaged in there, so let's put that in there. Okay, now we've got compression. So it was just a matter of the lack of compression was that somebody had pushed down on this valve and disengaged it from the cup, so that was always, that exhaust valve was probably always staying open. So let's re-engage it. We have what I would say feels like acceptable compression for this engine. So all I'm going to do now is pop this glow plug out, check the valve lash real quick, and otherwise I say this engine can be run. There is not a washer under the glow plug. That's a problem. Always need to have a copper washer under there. Too loose. So I'm going to take this spinner off, set this so I can hold it better and reset these valves, and then this engine will be ready to roll. Okay, so that was kind of a pain in the butt to get this spinner off, because the screw, center screw in this thing, the hex was really boogered up. So I had to get one of my ground hexes and pound it in there, put a little oil on there, try and seep it in, which didn't really make any difference. Get vice grips on this and break it free, because it almost looks like maybe somebody put Loctite on there too. So that was challenging to get that off. But once I got that off, checked the rocker or the valve lash. The valve lash was really bad. It wasn't set properly at all. It was way too far open. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I've got the valve lash set. I'm going to put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil in this thing. It's tough because sometimes the oil just wants to squirt right out. So you have to get on the part of the stroke where it will allow it to drain in there and suck in. And I've got some oil in there. This entire tube was filled with oil. I just want to put a little bit of oil in there before I go run it. So that's the next step for this engine, is I'm going to put this same prop on here and this spinner. A little oil on this. And this prop is a master air screw 11/6, which will be acceptable for a short run. I want to run this engine real quick and see how it sounds, see how it performs, check the RPM readings, and if it runs fine and sounds good, then I'm going to call it good. I mean, it's got tremendous compression now. I mean, I can hardly turn it over by hand. So the issues that I saw with this engine are threefold. First, it didn't have compression because the exhaust push rod was dislodged from the cup under the rocker arm. Second was the valve lash was way the hell out. It wasn't even close to being proper. But that wasn't the reason for the lack of compression. It was the push rod. Third thing was there was no washer under the glow plug. And I guess if you want to say fourth thing is the head on this thing is really boogered up also, and that was kind of interesting. So I'm going to put this thing back together and we're going to go out and do a run of this engine and see how it goes. Subscribers, so this is part 2 of a customer engine evaluation. What I've got here is Russ, this is your engine, Saito FA-40 engine that he sent to me to evaluate, and I just evaluated it. Now I've got it on the stand and I'm going to do a test run to see if there's any further work that needs to be done with it, and quite honestly I really don't think there is. I've got the OSF glow plug that came with it, and I installed a washer that wasn't there. It came with an 11/6 master air screw prop, and I've got Omega 10% fuel here. I've set the valves and the engine should be ready to go. I opened the high-speed needle valve 2.5 turns. That's usually where I start, and let's just give this thing a run. Okay, alright, so Russ, you can see your engine is fine. It's healthy. It runs properly. It's a nice engine. I mean, what do you expect? It's a Saito engine. So, I will be packaging this engine up, probably take that spinner and prop off, packaging it back up and sending it back to you. So, thank you, Russ, for giving me the opportunity to look at your engine, and thank you all for watching.